Hello, everybody. If you've been here before, you know that I made a video on exit music 7 years ago. And I think that did pretty well. But I decided, you know what? Let's go back. Let's go back and see how the mods feel again. See if I can do this whole thing in one sitting. I am glad to be back. And I hope you are glad to see me again, if you were here before. And if you're not, welcome. And I hope you have a good time. This is Mayflower's Sweet Beginnings. I'm pretty sure this is a mod about Natsuki, as far as I saw in the description. Let's begin. Act 1. Preheat. I will read out everything, as long as there's no already voice acted things, of course. Natsuki, your breakfast is getting cold. I'll be right there. Natsuki's voice echoes from upstairs, and a few moments later, I hear the rapid thuds of her approaching footsteps. Natsuki rounds the corner and heads for the table, inspecting my handiwork. Look at Natsuki. Hey, pancakes! Where's your breakfast? I already ate. Gotta go get Sayori, remember? Right. Natsuki pouts, her delight at the pancakes evaporating in moments. Hey, we can eat together tomorrow. No school or anything. We have the whole day together. Alright, you can make it up to me then. Now get out of here before Sayori starts snooping around. Wow, she's close. Natsuki gets up and puts her arms around me before I leave, so she's hugging. I return the hug, savoring the dizzying feeling I still get when she's near me. After an all too brief moment, I let go. That was cute. Alright, I'd better get going. See you at the club. See ya. So far I'm liking the direction. It's been over 6 months since I joined the literature club, and my life is unrecognizable. Aside from the fact that I have a girlfriend who's living with me, okay, so it's confirmed that she's with him, I've got other meaningful relationships. My grades have improved, and I don't feel like I'm just wasting time until I graduate anymore. That's not to say it's all been easy, though. Not long after joining, I found out Sayori, my best friend for as long as I can remember, has had depression that whole time. Been trying to support her through that. My newfound relationship with Natsuki and my schoolwork, I've had my hands full. That is a lot to work with. I guess that's all part of growing up, though. Guess so. I go aside and head straight for Sayori's. To my surprise, she opens the door and meets me before I even text her. Good morning, Nate. Morning, Sayori. You're up early today. I set my alarm extra early. I don't want to keep you waiting every day, you know. I guess that makes sense. Does that mean you're ready to head out already? Uh-huh. I'm impressed by the progress Sayori's made in such a short time. It wasn't so long ago that I had to practically drag her out of bed to get to school on time. Now, though, she's out the door even before I call her. As we walk down the street to school, Sayori turns to me. Hey, Nate. I've been meaning to ask you something. What's up? Why do we have to head to school so early now anyway? I mean, we've been getting to class almost half an hour early these days. I look at the ground, not wanting to lie to Sayori's face. It's my fault. I volunteered to help set up my classroom before school starts. figured you'd rather get up a little earlier instead of walking to school alone. If you want to sleep in, you can, but I won't be able to wait for you. No, that's alright. It's actually getting easier to wake up early these days. That's good to hear. I'm proud of you, Sayori. I mean that. I am proud of her. Before she confessed to me, I had no idea how depression could affect somebody, or how much effort it took to fight against it. But I can tell that Sayori has been working incredibly hard to make progress. As proud as I am, though, I also feel guilty for lying so openly to her. I haven't volunteered to do anything at school. I just need to make sure she doesn't see Natsuki coming out of my house in the mornings. Okay, so from what I can gather, the MC, myself, is trying to hide the fact that he's with Natsuki from Sayori. Alright. Natsuki doesn't want anyone to know she had to move in with me. And I can't say I blame her. Oh, okay. I misread that. I guess. That's fine. But also, with what else Sayori told me on the day before the festival, I should probably keep things secret for her sake as well. Okay, now I'm kind of mixing myself around. I'm pretty sure that this is after the festival day, or, well, the before day, but Sayori doesn't actually commit, and I'm on the Natsuki route, I guess. That's my assumption. Aw, thanks. Hey, why don't we do something to celebrate? Since you're so proud of me and all. What did you have in mind? We could go see a movie tonight. Night winds. I'm busy tonight. Got some important work to take care of. Oh, okay. Maybe some other time then. Okay, I can see the drama route coming. Sorry. I feel bad for disappointing Sayori. At least it wasn't a lie this time. I do have something important to do after school tonight. Maybe over the weekend? Okay. I'll stop by Saturday, alright? Sure thing. The day passes uneventfully. When it's time to eat, I pull out my meager lunch and eat it in a few bites. Damn, in a few bites? It's a cheap sandwich. But by the time lunch rolls around, I'm so hungry that it feels like a meal from a 5-star restaurant. Fair enough. Unfortunately, it only dampens my appetite, rather than fully sating it. I sigh and put it away. Oh well, I could stand to lose a few pounds anyway. Relatable. At the club, I find I'm the last to arrive. Sayori seems to be working on some sort of project at the front of the class. There are scattered pages in front of her, spread over multiple tables. Yuri, as usual, is reading quietly in a corner. She gives me a shy smile as I walk in, and I wave briefly to her. Natsuki is pulling out a volume of her manga from the closet. And and Monica seems to be filing some paperwork. Seeing me, Monica walks over and smiles. Hi, Nate. Any big plans for the weekend? No, not really. Sayori and I talked about seeing a movie, but aside from that, it'll probably be the usual. How about you? The literature club is in a bit of a lull. We held a pretty big event this week, but once again, failed to attract any new members. I could imagine that it's pretty hard to attract members for literature. The first time that happened, Monica seemed to take it pretty hard. Since then, though, she seems to have taken the stance that a small, dedicated club is better than a large club with members who aren't passionate. And that is definitely factual. Of course, that hasn't stopped her from trying to stoke that passion in potential members. Actually, I was planning on taking the weekend to myself and just relaxing. Maybe curling up in my pajamas with a good book. I gasp in mock horror. Monica taking a day off? I'm shocked. I know, pretty surprising. Truth is, I haven't actually gotten the chance to read any new books for a long time. I've been so busy, there just hasn't been time to really sink my teeth into anything too big. But as president of the literature club, I'm obligated to take time every so often to read something new. Well, good for you. The way you've been going these past few months, I say you've earned a whole week off. Let's just start with the weekend and see how it goes. No, it looks like someone wants your attention. Monica gestures over to Natsuki, who's holding the next volume of Parfait Girls and tapping her foot impatiently. Right. Take care, Monica. You too. Turning away from Monica, I head towards the closet. It's about time. This OC is nice. I've been waiting for us to start this arc for months. I know. Sorry, I just wanted to say hi to Monica. Yeah. Just get on the floor. Damn. Even after the others found out we were dating, Natsuki kept up her harsh demeanor in the club. It used to bother me a bit, but over time I've learned to accept it if it makes her more comfortable. Besides, we get enough time to ourselves now that she's moved in with me. Still, to keep up appearances, we've only been reading Parfait Girls in the club room, which has made Natsuki pretty impatient to get to what she deems the good part. Part we're apparently just on the brink of. Come on, open it. Alright, calm down. I turn to the opening page, and we begin reading. As usual, Natsuki sits close beside me, almost leaning on my shoulder. With no interruptions, we managed to finish the entire volume in a single sitting. It feels strange not to have any club activities, but I can't say I'm upset at having more time alone with Natsuki. And I really wouldn't want to stop this volume halfway through. When we finally finished the last page, I let out a breath and leaned back. Wow. I was not expecting that. Right? Poor Minori. I actually feel bad now. Admit it, you're hooked. Natsuki, we've been reading this for 6 months now. Could have stopped at any time if I wanted. Yeah, but now you're really hooked. Like, you probably want to start the next one right now, don't you? Dang it. Told you. Too bad for you, we're out of time. Wait, why are you so happy? Aren't you dying to read the next one too? Oh, I am. But I've got the satisfaction of watching you squirm while we wait. This isn't fair. Yeah, well, maybe the tables will turn when your manga finally gets interesting. I mean... Natsuki suddenly realizes that she let slip we were reading another manga in our spare time. It was a minor mistake. I don't think anyone even noticed. But she's been insistent on keeping our arrangement a secret. Well, club's about over anyway. Isn't it time for you and Sayori to head out? It's crazy that she's just like chilling with that, but I mean, I guess like the whole depression thing is probably why. Yeah, I guess it is. We've all agreed to put a temporary hold on writing poems for a while. The whole club was starting to suffer the first stages of burnout, and Monica was insistent we stop before it became a chore. Since then, club meetings have been more informal while Monica works on finding a new outlet for the club. I head over to the front of the club, where Sayori still seems focused on her project. That face made me laugh during reading that. I wave my hand in front of her face to get her attention. Hey, where's the Sayori? You about ready to go? Is it that time already? Sayori glances at the clock. Oh, I guess it is. Sorry, I was kind of busy. Well, there's no need to rush. I can wait a few minutes for you to finish up here. No, that's okay. I could use a break anyway. Sayori puts all her papers in a rough pile and shoves them into her backpack. Bye, everyone. As we walk back home, I turn to Sayori. So, what were you working on in the club today? It seemed like you were pretty focused on it. Sayori grins and shakes her head. I'm not allowed to say. Monica gave me a top secret mission. So it's something Monica wanted you to do, huh? I guess that means it's something official for the club. But that doesn't really narrow it down very much. You'll find out on Monday. Oh, I guess that's not so bad. I am kind of curious now, though. Sorry, but I promised Monica. I wave it away. Hey, no big deal. Monday's only a couple days away. The rest of the walk home with Sayori is basically the same as any other. We talk about our day, anything we're excited about, and complain about classes. Usually I try not to bring up my relationship with Natsuki, but sometimes Sayori pushes. I don't know why, even I can see that it bothers her sometimes. I do wish it didn't hurt her to see Natsuki and me together. Second. She's never done anything to get between us, so I guess it's not my place to judge. Natsuki comes in just as I'm finishing the day's homework. Man, does the sun feel good. I was getting sick of freezing on the walk to school every morning. Yeah, it kinda sucks in the winter. Sorry you had to go through that. Natsuki shrugs. Meh, I lived. So what's the plan for tonight? Take you out in a movie? Or maybe you want to show me why your manga's totally as good as Parfait Girls? I grimace, preparing for the worst. Actually... Natsuki frowns at me knowing what I mean before I even finish. Seriously? Again? It's like the third night this week. I miss you. I know. Poor Natsuki. I really am sorry. But I've got to take care of this. We've got all weekend, right? Bro. You promised Sayori a movie on the weekend. And now you're gonna say you got all weekend? Come on. Come on. You promise you'll be around? By Monday, you'll be sick of me. Oh, this guy. This me. Natsuki chuckles. I wouldn't count on it. You tried your best so far, and I'm still here. Ouch. Does this mean you'll be okay if I head out? Yeah, I guess. Just come back safe, alright? I will. See you tomorrow. This is crazy. I can see why she's irritated about it. And the fact that, like, main character me just, like, said all that without even thinking. That's upsetting. I step outside with an inward groan. All things considered, I'd definitely rather spend the evening cuddled up with my girlfriend. But I don't have that luxury tonight. I walk down the sidewalk, eyes alert. It's clean so far, but I know if I keep walking, I'll find what I'm looking for. Sure enough, my eyes catch a glint as I reach the corner. Aha! I lean down and snatch the plastic bottle, tucking it into my backpack. One down, 199 to go. Tell me he's recycling? for the night. Alright, I guess I'll respect the grind. 200 is what I consider to be my quota for an evening. 200 bottles is enough to get a decent meal, if you're careful. Unfortunately, finding that many bottles usually takes a long time. Some nights I have to head in before I even get halfway there. But the night seems to be going well. So far, I'm up to 5 bottles in as many minutes. A few hours later, I drop off my haul to be collected. I didn't reach my quota tonight, not even close. After shoving the bottles into the receptacle, I grab the meager sum of coins and count them out. I could make more money working at a sweatshop. Still, it's not too late. I can make one more round. Then I might have enough to last the rest of the month. There's a park nearby that's pretty popular. In the winter, nobody would have visited it, but maybe with the recent weather, I'll get lucky. Scrounging for recyclables isn't what I had in mind for my first job, but I don't have much of a choice. When I learned what Natsuki's home life was like, I had to let her move in. Unfortunately, my mom's monthly stipend is only budgeted for one person. Doubting all the expenses, more, in some cases, stretches things pretty thin. I've had to skip meals pretty often and cut down on the meals I actually ate. Sure, I could explain everything to Mom and hope she sends a bit more money. But there's also the risk that she'd kick Natsuki out, and that can't happen. Oh well. Keeping Natsuki fed and safe is more than worth the effort. I do hate keeping this a secret from her, though. How do you even keep this a secret? What does she think he does at night? As I walk down the path, I see something that makes my heart race. Looks like someone had a particularly good time here earlier. Must have been a dozen or so bottles scattered on the ground. Glass sells for twice as much as plastic. This is the jackpot. Thank goodness for litter bugs. As I collect the bottles, I mentally tally the total value. This should be enough to get me over my quote. Nate? Gah! I quickly spin around. Ah! Yuri, I didn't expect Yuri. The music, it's so interesting. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to frighten you. Yuri stands a few feet away from me, clearly embarrassed. No, it's fine. I was just kind of distracted. Sorry. I have nothing to apologize for. I certainly can't blame others for getting lost in thought. I take a breath, waiting for my heart to stop racing. Right. What are you doing out here anyway? Isn't it kind of late to be out for a walk? Yuri chuckles softly. I could ask you the same, Nate. But to answer your question, I prefer to take walks after dark. You know, I could actually relate to that. I feel like it's a lot calmer to take walks at night. I don't know if that's just me, or me and Yuri, I guess. But it's nice. Things are more peaceful. Exactly. I also find that I more easily find inspiration from my poems at night. That makes sense. Yuri would definitely appreciate the solitude. And her poems certainly feel like the sort of thing you'd write at night. Is that what you were doing then? Writing a new poem? Yuri shakes her head. No. Tonight I'm just enjoying the air. It's been too long since the weather's been mild enough for a late night stroll. But what are you doing out here? You don't strike me as the type to spend their Fridays picking up litter. Crap, she saw what I was doing. Think, Nate, think. Is everything alright? He looks at me with a concerned expression. Huh? Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Yuri gives me a sad smile. Nate, you're sweet, but you're a terrible liar. You're collecting bottles for money, aren't you? I know you and Natsuki have moved in together, you know? Wow, she has that sixth sense. What? But, but, I sputter helplessly. How did you know? I suppose there's no use denying it at this point. Yuri looks at me for a moment without speaking. After a few seconds, she nods to herself, as if she's decided something. Come with me. I'll explain when we get there. Get where? I still have to drop these off and get home. Please, just trust me. Yuri begins heading down the path of the park. Confused and not sure what choice I really have, I hesitantly follow. Yuri eventually heads into a late-night cafe. This looks nice. She walks straight up to the counter and addresses the hostess. Good evening, Aaron. I'll have the usual, please. And my friend will have... He looks at me expectantly. I really can't afford to be eating out. I know that. That's why you're not paying. Hang on, I can't let you buy me dinner. Nate, when was the last time you had a hot meal? I turn away, not wanting to answer. It's not healthy, what you're doing. I'm not doing it to be healthy. I'm doing it for Natsuki. Then do this for her, too. She wouldn't want you starving yourself out of stubborn pride. Yuri looks down, embarrassed by her words. Pride. I can't deny it. Yuri's right about why I don't want to accept her offer. Even if she clearly regrets speaking so bluntly. Yeah, you're right. Thanks. You're a good friend. You're not upset? I shake my head and laugh quietly. Yuri, we've talked about this. Really, nothing you say is as bad as you think it is. Besides, you're right. I was just being too stubborn. And I am pretty hungry. Well, that's a relief. Not the fact that you're hungry. It's alright. I know what you mean. Come on, let's get a seat. I finish ordering, and Yuri and I find a table. Thank you for letting me do this. You know, I'm glad Yuri's personality's not, like, changed or anything. Most Okimons do the personalities pretty well. I'm glad to see it. Thank you for letting me do this. You know, this is one of my favorite diners in the city. No, I mean, like, look at that view. I can't blame you. This type of diner is nice. Although that's mostly because it's quiet and open late. I try a bite of my dinner and find it better than I expected. You shouldn't discount the quality of the food either. This is pretty good. I'm glad to hear you say that. You know, some weeks I'll come here every night. Well, that explains why you're on a first-name basis with the staff. Yeah, they're very friendly here. I suppose that's another reason I keep returning. It's a really nice place. Honestly, I'm glad you showed it to me. Maybe we'll come here with Natsuki sometime. I think that's a wonderful idea. But speaking of Natsuki, I've held up my end of the bargain. Now, how did you know we are living together? Yuri traces her finger around the rim of her glass, pondering before she speaks. Well, first, you need to understand that I've known Natsuki for far longer than you have. I don't say that to diminish your relationship. It's merely a statement of fact. Give me a second. Let me take a drink of water. In fact, before you started coming to the club, we often spent time together socially. I raised an eyebrow in surprise. Really? When I first showed up, I thought you guys hated each other. I can certainly see why you would reach that conclusion. And in truth, we struggled to get along when we first met. She was rather brash and somewhat rude. And I was, admittedly, quite judgmental towards her. But eventually, developed a deep friendship with her. That's not to say that we always got along. But what you saw that first time we shared poems, it was an abnormality. Yuri's posture shifts, and she smiles gently. Anyway, we started going out shopping, or getting ice cream in the summer. Eventually, it got to the point where she'd come over to my house regularly. Of course, for reasons I was unaware of at the time, I was never invited to her house. But I didn't think much of it back then. If anything, I was grateful that I didn't have to enter a stranger's home. I suppose I was somewhat naive at the time. I nod, understanding how she feels. Not only did it take me way too long to clue into Natsuki's problems, but Sayori's as well. I understand all too well how seemingly insignificant clues like that can fly under the radar. Yuri clears her throat, then continues. Anyway, when I learned of her situation, I didn't know what to do. But I knew I had to do something. Another sentiment I understand. I remember the day I found Natsuki hiding in an empty corner of the school during lunch. She was emptying ketchup packets from the cafeteria into a cup of water to make tomato soup. Damn, that is rough. When I asked her about it, she finally told me how dire things were in her home. How she usually had to go hungry at the end of the month because her father had blown the last of their money on booze. How baking wasn't just something she picked up for fun, but it was also a survival strategy, since flour was cheap and lasted a long time. It's an interesting way to think about the baking part of things when it comes to hunger. How she wasn't actually that much younger than the rest of the club. She just had her growth stunted from years of malnutrition. And worst of all, what would actually happen if her father found manga in her room? Nate? Are you okay? I turned my attention back to Yuri. Yeah, sorry. I just know how you feel. I suppose you do. Sorry to bring up such a delicate subject. It's fine. You were saying? Right. Well, the point is that I began to schedule our time together so that she'd be at my house for dinner. Even if I couldn't do very much, I wanted to make sure she at least got one full meal a day. Of course, looking back, I think she knew exactly what I was doing, even if she never let on. Anyway, after the two of you started seeing each other, Natsuki came over less and less often, until a few months ago, she abruptly stopped visiting at all. And around the same time, arrive at school in the mornings became erratic. before, she'd take the bus to school, so she'd always arrive with a group of other students. And now, she might arrive 10 minutes after the bus, or 15 minutes before. That only makes sense if she started walking to school, which she couldn't do from her home, for her own home. Therefore, she moved somewhere close to school, and somewhere with a more reliable source of food. Natsuki doesn't trust many people enough to live under their roof. And if it were anyone else, she wouldn't keep the move a secret. In the end, the only explanation is that she moved in with you. Wow. I can't help but laugh. I'm impressed, Yuri. That was some seriously great deduction. You're a really observant person, you know that? That's kind of you to say. Unfortunately, I can be incredibly oblivious at times. Sorry, I'm not adjusting. The sitting position. Such as my failure to consider the burden Natsuki's presence must be putting on you. The burden? Natsuki isn't a burden. I know that. I only meant... I sigh, disappointed in myself. I know what you meant. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gotten upset so easily. I guess I'm just kind of on edge recently. Alright. Well, that's just what I wanted to talk to you about. You can't keep pushing yourself like this. You need to sleep. You need to eat. And I need money to be able to buy food for us. Yes, you do. Oh. Yuri with the money. Yuri reaches into her purse and pulls out a wad of bills. This should cover the extra expenses for a while. I hesitate, not sure what to do. It's one thing to let Yuri buy a single dinner, but this is a lot of money. Of course, being a lot of money can feed the two of us for a long time. Yuri's parents are literally a doctor and a lawyer. It's not like she can't afford it. I imagine Natsuki's face when I found her having watered down ketchup for lunch. In the end, I don't really have a choice. I take the money. Yuri looks relieved. Thank you. I should be the one thanking you. I promise I'll make good use of this. I'm sure you will. You're a good person, Nate. Natsuki's lucky to have you. I feel my face redden from the compliment. Speaking of which, I really should be getting back home. She'll be getting worried by now. Yuri nods, smiling softly. That's probably true. Good night. Have a safe walk home. I'll see you on Monday. I wave goodbye to Yuri, grab my backpack, and head home. As soon as the door closes behind me, a figure on the couch begins to stir. Nate? Yeah, it's me. Sorry I'm so late. Where... Husky stuff, yawn, then starts again. Where were you? I ran into Yuri. We started talking. Into the couch and sit next to Natsuki. Man, Yuri and her late night walks. What'd you end up talking about? About you, actually. Turns out she already knew we moved in together. What? Yeah, when you stopped going to her house and started walking to school, she figured it out. Well, that figures. She's always so smart at the worst times, and completely oblivious when you want her to figure something out. I chuckle softly. You know, she said something really similar about herself. Anyway, I think she kind of misses spending time with you. You two should hang out soon. I guess it has been a while since we visited. Maybe I should. Natsuki yawns again. It's pretty late. We should probably go to bed. But wait. I missed you. Can't we just spend a little more time together? Can't help but smile. As much as I want to head to bed right now, I miss Natsuki too. Alright. Just a few minutes though. I guess that'll do. Slide closer to Natsuki, wordlessly holding her hands in mine. She leans against me with a contented sigh. I lean back into the couch, feeling the stress of the day drain away. They're adorable. I'm glad that they're a couple. Why does my neck hurt so much? Why is my shirt wet? I reluctantly open my eyes. Oh, wow. That's a nice, nice sprite. Oops, forgot to read that one. Natsuki lies on top of me, snoring softly in a small puddle of drool. That accounts for my shirt. From the angle my neck was at, I'm not surprised it hurts. I quietly watch Natsuki for a few moments. Man, she's cute. I don't know how I wound up with a girl like her, but I must have done something right. I could stay here all day. If I didn't desperately need to use the washroom. Trying my best not to disturb Natsuki. I began to slide out from under her. The drool. Natsuki's eyes half open, and she sluggishly wipes the drool away from her mouth. Then she slowly lifts her gaze to my face and freezes. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, no! No, 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 no. This can't be happening! Sorry, it is. I drooled on you! Ah, don't look at me! Why not? After all... Natsuki glares at me. Don't say it. You're so cute! You said it! Natsuki leans forward and punches my arm in a quick flurry of blows. Ah! Frustrated, she runs upstairs and I hear the door to her bedroom slam. Feeling extremely satisfied with myself, I head up to my room. Natsuki. An uncharacteristic display of mercy. I decided to take my time getting ready today. Natsuki could use the extra time to recover from her ordeal. I take a steaming hot shower until the hot water runs out, then get dressed at a leisurely pace. When I finally come downstairs, I find Natsuki waiting for me. Finally! Come on, I'm getting hungry. You are allowed to eat without me, you know. We promised yesterday we'd spend the weekend together. Promised twice, in fact. I'm gonna hold you to that. Now, what's for breakfast? I decide not to bring up the fact that I never promised to make her breakfast. That would be such a petty remark. How's French toast sound? your French toast? No thanks. If we're doing French toast, we're doing it properly. It's just bread dipped in batter and fried. You can't even do that improperly. French toast is not just bread dipped in batter and fried, first of all. That is a great process, and if you don't use the right ingredients, it's not going to come out that well. Anyway, Natsuki shakes her head. See? That's just what I'm talking about. You wouldn't call cupcakes cooked batter covered in sugar, would you? She has a point. I might have before I met you. Well, it's a good thing I'm here to educate you. Just like with cupcakes, that's only the most basic, boring version of French toast. The really fun part is dressing it up with your favorite flavors. So, what are you thinking? Come on, be creative. Chocolate chip? Not exactly the most creative flavor you could have picked. Hey, I'm still learning. Besides, it's a classic. Well, it doesn't really matter anyway. We don't have any way of getting chocolate chips into the bread. Oh yeah. Guess I didn't really think it through. Natsuki opens the fridge and peers in. Let's see. We have strawberries. Let's do that. That sounds pretty good. Sounds good to me. Exactly. Where do we start? Half an hour later, Natsuki and I sit down to a fresh plate of strawberry French toast. She's even made a strawberry syrup to go on top of it, and sprinkled the top with powdered sugar. Damn, that sounds delicious. I need to get myself some of that. Alright, I admit it. This is way better than what I was going to make. See? Put in a little extra effort, and food always tastes better. Maybe if you're a genius at baking. Sayori, more time in the kitchen just means more risk of burning her house to the ground. I admit, I do have a rare gift. But seriously, how many people just don't put in the work it takes to get good? This is true. Put more effort into something you want to be better, and it'll be better. My first batch of cupcakes was a total disaster. I guess that's true. But at the same time, I've never met anyone who can bake like you. There's definitely some real talent at work here. I gestured to the now half-eaten French toast. Yeah, maybe. Even now, I'm occasionally surprised by Natsuki's lack of confidence. She acts borderline arrogant in public, so it's sometimes hard to remember how incredibly insecure she can be. Seriously, you're incredible. Thanks, Nate. I really need to hear that sometimes. Of course, Natsuki. The rest of the meal is eaten in silence. I occasionally catch glimpses of Natsuki looking my way carefully. It's the same way she looked at me when I ate her first cupcake. In the end, there isn't a bite left on either of our plates. Man, I should make some French toast. I'm totally doing that tomorrow. As I clean the dishes, Natsuki pulls out a box and opens it. Inside is the manga I'm making her read. She finds the volume we're at and places it on the couch, waiting for me. Be there in a minute. No rush. Just getting ready. When I'm finished, I join Natsuki on the couch. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember this one. Yeah? No spoilers, but I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Then let's get started already. You know, I really wonder how it feels to read manga with somebody. Is it an intimate gesture? Does it feel that way? Halfway through the book, Natsuki scoffs. Yeah, this is such a guy manga. I raise an eyebrow. If you really want to stop, we can. Well, it's not that bad. After all, some of the characters are pretty cool. Like Kaede. I like her. Oh, you like Kaede? Interesting. Natsuki's brow furrows. Why? What's so special about Kaede? I never said she was special. What, does she die or something? Fair question. I mean, you never know when somebody says interesting about a character. If she dies, I'll never forgive you. Come on, I'd never spoil a major plot point like that. Whatever. I know you're just messing with me. You are just messing with me, right? I'm shrugging differently. You're serious? She dies, doesn't she? Oh my god, she's pushing so hard. This is why you don't say that. You gotta like be silent when somebody's enjoying something that you like, or else you're just gonna give away that there's a spoiler, like a major spoiler. I maintain my best poker face, despite Natsuki's best efforts. Finally, she hits me over the head with the open manga in frustration. Ah, you're evil! Natsuki pulls out the next issue and sets it on the couch. Now look what you made me do. I'm a monster. Of course Kaede doesn't die. There's no way I'm letting Natsuki know that. Okay, never mind. That's a funny play. Funny play on like accidentally like manipulating her in like a playful way. If I have to suffer waiting for the next issue of Parfait Girls, then I at least get to have my own fun in the meantime. A few hours later, there's a knock at the door. I've got it. Natsuki opens the door to a familiar figure. Is this... Oh boy. They were supposed to watch a movie, right? Hey, Natsuki. Hey, Sayori. Looking for Nate? I hurriedly get up and go to the door. Even after all this time, I haven't told Natsuki about Sayori's confession to me. Well, that is kind of a friendship ender if you do. So, can't really do that. I don't want Natsuki to actually say something to hurt Sayori. Oh, hi Nate. I was just gonna ask about the movies. Looks like you're already busy, so... Nah, you guys can go see something. Could use a little quiet time anyway. Really? You know, I'm also surprised about that, like... Natsuki's just chilling with that? I thought she wanted to spend the whole weekend with us. Are you sure? Of course. Just have him home before midnight. I will. So, I take it the movie starts soon? Pretty soon. We're not in a huge rush or anything. Oh, that's a first for you. Alright, let me just run upstairs. I've got a gift card I need to use. I grab the card from my dresser and run back downstairs. Bye, Nat. Nice nickname. See you later. I'm just gonna leave her here until you get back. Your secret's getting out. Natsuki fumbles for a moment, clearly caught off guard. Well, the thing is... Natsuki's house is being fumigated. She can't go home until tonight, so she's hanging out here. Oh, that makes sense. Anyway, we should probably get going if we're gonna catch the movie. Bye. I hurriedly push Sayori out the door. Can't hide it forever. Yeah, that's nice. I like how the backgrounds are kind of like, in the style of Doki in some way, like the colors. That's nice to see. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to see if that would hide the background. Card in hand, I head to the theater with Sayori. I didn't mean hide the background. I meant hide the text box. So, are you looking forward to the movie? Are you kidding? I've been waiting for this since we were kids. When we were little, Sayori and I both fell in love with the series of children's novels we discovered at the library. It just so happens that they announced a movie adaptation over the summer. What about you? Yeah, I am. I just hope they didn't butcher it. You know, a lot of adaptations get butchered. Let's hope not. You know how movie adaptations can be. Yeah, just like he said. Oh, don't be so negative. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, coming from Sayori. Come on. This is gonna be fun. No hate, by the way. Okay, you're right. I would have killed to see this movie when we were younger, after all. Let's get some popcorn and head right inside so we can grab some good seats, okay? Yeah! After grabbing our snacks, Sayori and I settle into a couple of seats near the back of the theater. I feel a bit conspicuous since the two of us are pretty much the only people our age here. Everyone else is either a kid or looking after one. Sayori doesn't seem to mind, though. As you shouldn't mind. Enjoy the movies that you want to enjoy. Do what you want to do. Age group shouldn't matter. To be honest, I'm not even sure she notices. I sink a bit lower into my seat and hope nobody recognizes me. Not that I'm likely to see anyone I know here. Psst! Pass the popcorn. Sayori's voice cuts through the darkness. Sayori, the trailers hasn't even started yet. Haven't even started yet. I like it when the popcorn's still hot. Just from her pouting tone, I could practically see Sayori's expression. Alright, but remember, this has to last the whole movie. Half the time you eat the whole bag by the time the trailers finish. That only happened once or twice. I make fun, but I made sure to get an extra large popcorn for this exact reason. Just as I pass the bag to Sayori, the screen lights up. Sayori hurriedly grabs a handful of popcorn and settles back into her seat to watch the trailers. A handful, damn. Used to eat popcorn with like both of my hands. It was pretty messy. The movie's pretty good, honestly. They definitely took some artistic license. But it still captures the feel of the books, even if the details are a bit different. I had to reread License for a second there just to make sure I read that right. It seems like Sayori's enjoying it too. Watching anything with Sayori is something of an acquired taste, since she doesn't often sit quietly through the whole thing. When her favorite character from the books shows up, she excitedly begins slapping my knee to get my attention. These are the types of people that are like fun to watch movies with, though. It's the sort of thing that I might have said was annoying in the past, but would have missed if Sayori stopped doing it. Now, of course, I'm just glad she's happy about something. Even if that something is just a character in a movie. That's a perfectly valid thing to be happy about. So, what did you think? It was great. The ending especially. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. The ending? It ended the exact same way as the book. You know what was going to happen. Okay. The whole point of watching it like adaptations is to see like how do they go about the story and did they do the ending right? That's what I think of. So, it makes sense. Well, yeah. But it's a good ending. I'm always a little nervous about whether things are really going to turn out okay in the end, you know? Only Sayori would be worried about a kids movie having a sad ending. Yeah, you never were one for sad endings. Hey, that's not true. Sometimes I like sad endings. Come on, Sayori. You're always upset if a story doesn't end in happily ever after. Well, yeah, I always hope it has a happy ending. But still, sometimes the best stories are sad at the end. It's like we talked about earlier, you remember? Bittersweet. Oh yeah. You still don't get it though. Doesn't it make you sad if something awful happens to the characters you're so invested in? Yep. And why do you even like it? Isn't being sad, you know, a bad thing? Dang, MC has no taste. Outside of his choice of girls. I don't know. It's not like everything has to be sad at the end. Not even most things. But every once in a while, it just feels right. I don't know. Maybe it's just that I feel connected to the story. Like we match. That's a good way to look at it. So, you don't want stories to have a sad ending, but sometimes you like it when they do? It doesn't make any more sense when I say it. Now you get it. Nope, not even a little bit. You're a weirdo, Sayori. Always have been. I can relate to Sayori, though. I think there's a good mixture between sad endings and happy endings in movies, and I want to keep it that way. Hey, but you're my weirdo. I playfully rustle Sayori's hair. Always have been. Well, I guess I can live with that. I'm still not sure how I should be treating Sayori now that I know how she feels about me. Okay, well, first of all, claiming her as yours is not the right step. Especially if I'm dating Natsuki. And now you're thinking about that? Doesn't feel right to carry on the same way, knowing about her depression. But am I really doing her a favor if I'm too nice? Would Natsuki be jealous? Absolutely. It's not like I mean anything by it. Maybe I should just stop overthinking things. No, you're thinking about the right things. I told Sayori I wasn't interested. She's not the type of person to steal her friend's boyfriend. Nate, you okay? Sorry. Lost in thought. Ready? You ready to go home? Yup. I think I'm gonna end this video on the start of the next day. I said I wanted to try to do this in one go, but my voice is like kind of giving out on me. I hope that is understandable. I walk Sayori home, then head straight over to my place. Hey Nat, I'm home. Natsuki comes down the hall, fixing me with an icy gaze. Whoa, hold on. She cried? Was she reading? Natsuki? What's wrong? Have you been crying? Natsuki doesn't answer for a moment. And then she looks me dead in the eyes and holds something up. What's this? I peer closer and my heart stops. It's a beer bottle from last night. Oh, she's gonna think of this in the wrong way. Specifically a beer bottle? That is unfortunate. I never turned them in. Hang on, it's not what it looks like. Is this what you've been doing every night? Sneaking out to get drunk behind my back? No, of course not. Then what is it? I take a moment to collect my thoughts. It's fair enough that she's taking it this way, because what else are you going to think when you see a bunch of empty beer bottles? It's obvious that if I don't come clean now, things won't go well for us. And if I'm not careful, telling the truth could backfire too. Look, I love having you here. I don't regret inviting you to move in for a second. But things are difficult. So what? Things get tough and you start drinking a Cope? Gee, where have I heard that before? No, that's not a Natsuki. Do you have any idea how that sounds to me? Natsuki, the bottles aren't mine. And they are now, but I didn't drink from them. Look, the money my mom gives me isn't enough for the two of us to live off of. I thought it would be if I just cut back on a few things, but I was wrong. The reason I've been going out every night is so I could collect bottles to turn in for a refund. I'm sorry I lied to you, but I haven't been drinking. Are you telling the truth? I want to believe you, but please, don't lie to me. If I mean anything at all to you, don't lie to me. Not about this. I promise, that's the truth. And even ask Yuri, she saw me last night. I'm just trying to make ends meet. Natsuki visibly relaxes and lets out a soft chuckle. And she wipes her eyes and turns to me. You really scared me, you know. Are things really that bad? We have enough for next month, if we're careful. And after that, I'll figure something out. I won't let you go hungry again, I promise. It's not your responsibility, Nate. Of course it is. You're my girlfriend, and you're living in my house. If I don't take care of you, how am I any better than him? Natsuki freezes, clenching her fists. Damn, he really said that. That's very self-loathing. Are you really that stupid? Natsuki's voice holds a venom I've never heard before. You're better because you actually bothered to try. You're better because I can actually be myself around you. I don't have to hide who I am or what I like. You don't scream at me for who I spend time with or what I read. Natsuki starts to quiver and her breathing becomes unsteady. You're better because since moving in with you, I don't flinch when I hear a door slam anymore. I don't have a panic attack if I drop a glass. I don't live in fear of what's going to happen when you wake up or when you get home. You're better because you make me feel like you actually want me around. Like I'm a real person who matters, who's loved. I don't care about the other stuff. I don't care if I don't have 3 full meals a day. I just want to feel safe. And like I actually matter to someone. So don't you ever compare yourself to him again. Because you have nothing in common. Slowly, I approach Natsuki. Having learned from experience, I keep my arms lowered as I walk forward. She leans forward and puts her arms around me. It feels less like a hug and more like a drowning person desperately clutching a life raft. I put my arms around her gently, trying to give her time to recover. Come on, breathe with me. In and out. And in and out. I don't know how many times to repeat this before she recovers. Eventually, though, her breathing steadies once again. I'm sorry. It's fine. But you're right. We do need money. And you're not gonna like it. But I think I have an idea. It's something I've been thinking about for a while now. I'm gonna start an only. Why won't I like it? Because it's not something I can do while in school. I'd have to drop out. No, absolutely not. Will you just hear me out? There's this grant for small businesses. The government literally gives you money, no strings attached, as long as you use it to start a business. It could be anything. A factory, a photography studio. Oh, this is where this is going. That's why the title is what it is. A factory, a photography studio, a bakery. Let's get out that last bit so quietly I almost didn't hear it. You want to open your own bakery? I told you you wouldn't like it. But I'm 18 now. I can apply for the grant. It's just, we're doing some research, and it'll take a while to get everything set up. Even if I got started today, I wouldn't actually be able to open for a long time. So we should do it now while we still have some money to hold us over. Suddenly feeling dizzy, I go to the couch and sit down. Natsuki's right. I don't like it. Not the part where she owns a bakery. I actually think that's a great idea. But dropping out, this close to graduation? Desperately, I rack my brain for alternatives, but there aren't any. I've tried finding part-time work, but it just isn't available. So it's either collect bottles or... Alright. Alright, like, you agree? This won't be easy. You know that, right? Yeah, I know. It means getting up super early every day and just baking for hours before we even open. Then I'd have to operate the actual store, at least until we have enough profit to hire someone to help out with that. Natsuki sits down next to me on the couch. Nate, I can do this, right? The stuff I make, people will want to buy it. I can't help but laugh. Natsuki, that's the one thing I'm not worried about. You're the best baker I've ever met. No question. Natsuki takes a breath and looks me in the eyes. And you'll support me? I can't do this alone. I promise. Whatever you decide, I'm with you 100%. I'd like to clarify that there is no music right now. That's just how it is. I'm fine with that. Good. Then I'll book a meeting for Monday. If they accept me, I'll tell the club that day. Then I'll drop out. I'd like to comment on how, like, this can be considered quite impulsive. But I guess with their situation, they're not going to last the future if they don't do something quick. And obviously, it gets really unhealthy to do what the MC does. So, I guess it's understandable. I mean, I'm also a dropout, so, I mean, I can't really say anything here. I can't believe how quickly this is all happening. If Natsuki gets this grant, that means Monday will be our last club meeting together. Should we, I don't know, bake some cupcakes or something for the occasion? Sounds absurd. Such a huge change, and we celebrate with cupcakes. Yeah, I guess we should. Go work on them tomorrow. Natsuki and I sit there in silence for a long time. It feels like there's nothing more to say, more to discuss. But there's nothing. Oh, did I read that wrong? Feels like there's more to say, more to discuss. But there's nothing. We've made our plan. So, I guess we should go to bed. It's getting late. Right. Good night. Good night. No I love yous or anything? I guess I haven't done this since the beginning of the game. Still overwhelmed, I head to my bedroom and sit on my bed. Yeah. Like I could fall asleep now. Why don't you guys lay together? You guys are living together. Make use of the fact that you guys are living together. Okay, the next day hit though. I will save the game here and conclude this as part 1 of this series. I plan on continuing this, and I will continue it as long as the video does well. Like the video and comment on it, and I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. I do still have a goal of 1,000 subscribers, but we can start with 500. I'd just be very glad if whoever watches this all the way through subscribes, likes, and comments. So, whoever you are listening to me right now, have a wonderful day, afternoon, or night, and just keep going in life. I'll see you next video. Goodbye, everybody. Until next time.